Okay, so I just had like this revelation, right? I just had a moment with my roommate, with my boyfriend, with my coexisting partner right now. Woo, that's a lot to say. Okay, so I had this moment, right? I'm all jazzed up right now. I had this moment, and I was looking outside the window, and I was being shown this picture about the sun and about like moving around to different locations, because I see people like these people in history like Jesus and stuff, and had like their aura and their energy field is so great that maybe it looks like a certain body that warms up the institutions or something like that, right? And it's like I always wonder like why the sun goes away, and I'm like, well, maybe the sun doesn't go away, maybe we just shift different positions on this, like, because I always picture like the earth and we're inside, and it's like maybe we just move around the sun and it just looks like it gets dark or something like that. I was just picturing things in my head. Like, I'm not saying that's the ultimate truth. It's just I'm trying to keep figuring things out. And it's like he's doing the dishes or something like that, and I'm looking out the window, and I'm looking at the is like gigantic right now, and like I know the sun's on the other side, and I'm like, what's going on here? If the sun is in the middle, or the sun's Jesus, or maybe Jesus is looking at the sun, like I'm not even sure exactly, but it's like I'm looking at it, and I'm like, maybe we change positions, maybe we change dimensions or something like that. Because like the Bible talks about, there's many, something about mansions, and there's many rooms in my mansion or something like that. And there's like, and it talks about dimensions, like it's really specific about breadth and width and the dimensions of the ark. And it's like dimensions. Okay. So we can talk about different dimensions if it's frequencies or it's like, popping in and out of existence, or it's like different timelines. But like, maybe it's really just like breath width. Like maybe it's that simple. Maybe it's just like like the timelines when you talk about like the United States and other places. It's like, oh, it's a time difference here and a time difference here. They're like, if you really took that and you made it a 3D picture, it'd be like pages of a book, like the book of leaves, like the book of pages, the book of like a book, right? And crap. Okay. Um, yeah, so I was thinking about dimensions and stuff like that, and I'm like picturing things in my mind, and it's like as I'm picturing, I'm like drawing with my hands, and I'm like trying to figure it out, and then it was like I felt so jazzed up that I was like kind of like overheating or wanting to move around or wanting to be outside. So then I like went to my coat, and I got my coat on, and I was like, I'm gonna go outside for a minute. And like I saw a reaction, like I try to be observant, like really observant to like what happens when I am thinking about something, because it's like I immediately get answers in my current reality, and like this is something that keeps like like a circle or something like that, like this cycle, this human cycle that we have, and it's like he as soon as I said that, he reacted in a way that was like it was like a okay, this is like, all right, I'm just going to tell you the story. He reacted like, are you coming back? And I know it was joking, like it's jokingly, like I know it's joking, but at the same time, like I take it in and I'm like, why did that feeling come out? Like even if it's a joke, it's like, for these Freudian slips, these free associations that could just come out naturally. And even though it's a joke, it's like there's still information in there that I can gather, because it's an immediate reaction. It's a knee-jerk reaction that just happened and wasn't thought about. And so I was like, yeah, of course I am. And he was like, because he's like, what is the house going to blow up or something like that? And I was like, and it's funny because this house actually did blow up like in the 80s or something like that. So it's like it already happened, and he was already aware of that. And it's like, I have this instinctual fear that it's going to like actually blow up, but I know it's not going to blow up because I trust, I trust God and I trust everything else, and it's already happened. So it's like literally just by living here, we naturally fear that. But then there's like more than that. There's more than that, because I always picture like where I am and why I have the information I have, and like the certain geological location. And then I think about the beginning and how we're going back to the beginning, because I made a video about like the beginning, and we keep talking about like the Big Bang and Big Bang Theory, and it's like this Big Bang explosion. And it's really funny that I live in a house that actually had exploded like 20, 30, 40 years ago. And the fact that I was so in that moment of looking out the window, and I wasn't saying nothing, I was just like like picture thinking, and I was drawing, and it was like in this immediate moment of like I need to just go outside and like check things out and like feel the air, and the fact that that was an immediate response, and the 3 words that came to mind was like, as soon as I got outside, the 3 words that came to mind were guilt, scared, and what was the other one? Separation. Guilt, scared, separation. And I was like, that's really interesting, because these are things I think that are like the other side of the spectrum, right? Because what do you have when you have guilt? You have trust. And then you've got separation. You've got like coming together. And then you've got scared, but then you've got excitement, right? So it's like excitement, coming together, and like honesty and trust, right? Like, you know, and I think of like communication being all 3 of these things, and I'm like, okay, so if I keep channeling this whole beginning thing, like we're all channeling, like it's all coming back together, and then I think about like the beginning being like, you know, that like that's what the beginning was or is, and we just like, I don't know, perception change or something like that, or it's like this learning simulator where we figure it out, and it's like, you know, these 3 things, I mean, there's probably more, but this is what I'm focusing on. And I was like, all right, you know, as soon as I felt the, you know, negative side of it, these separation anxieties that we all experience, like, you know, being stripped away from the womb of a mom, and like, you know, these guilty feelings of like, you know, because we don't want to be alone, we don't want to not be loved, and we don't want to, you know, it's like these fears that these things that we deal with, this human drama, this human cycle that we go through, is like so instilled in us, and it's like all about going back to where that wasn't there, or something like that, like where we weren't separated, where we weren't in, where we didn't perceive these dimensions as being separate, where it really was all together. And that like completely explains, like, you know, how I picture the actual world to be is like where we really are here. It's just all about like revealing those dimensions where we can be like, oh, you're just right here, oh, you're just right here, we never really were separated, it was just like the perception of being separated. And it's like like maybe okay, okay, well, Spirit tells me something about like I'm in this like centerpiece, right? Like there's something about a centerpiece, and I'm in this centerpiece, and it's like I keep trying to figure out, because I know like intuitively that the sun is in the center. Like that's what makes the most sense to me, is that the sun will be in the center and readily available to everybody. And I'm like, okay, then what makes sense as to why the sun isn't visible at certain times to certain people, and like, you know, certain like timelines, like the other side of the world and all that. And I'm like, well, then there's got to be something else going on. There must be something else going on for that to not be perceived, you know, because my eyes see a whole lot, but when the sun isn't here, I'm like, well, then what's really going on, you know? So then I'm like thinking about, okay, well, then maybe the sun doesn't move, maybe something moves around the sun, and this is just an idea. So it's like I picture like the sun, right, being in the middle. We'll just use that. And then it's like, you know, if there's this centerpiece, I always picture this plateau with this bubble, because I talk about it in like, I think a couple of videos back about how I actually see like the ocean or whatever is like actually going over like this bubble. And well, it's like a couple of videos back, I don't remember. But it's like you got the sun, and then you got like, and then I picture like immediately like this centerpiece that kind of goes like this. And I don't know if it's true. You know, this is just what I pictured. I'm moving around my mind pockets to try to figure this out. And it's like, you know, when I see the sun and it comes up in the morning, it's like, you know, maybe that's what I'm seeing. Like right here, I'm standing here, right? And I'm watching the sun go up. But is the sun going up or am I going down, right? So it's like, you know, the sun, and then it's like it goes, you know, you're going like this, and then the sun, you know, well, the window's right here. The sun goes down right there. And then it's like, beep, you know, and then it's like here now the sun is now revealed to the other side of the world. And I'm still going up, and it's nighttime. And I'm like, you know, I don't know if that's the truth, but like this is something I just realized because of my mind pockets like being shifted around different pictures, and then the immediate response in my reality from somebody else were like these feelings, which remind me of the beginning, which, you know, I don't have to go over it again, but that's definitely something to think about. And it like struck me so so quickly that I had to share it. Like, I had to share this. It's definitely something to think about. Because I think I've seen, like, other people's videos where they talk about, like, the centerpiece, and, like, Spirit keeps telling me, like, I'm actually on, like, this centerpiece, and I see, like, the oceans and the bubble, and you just got to see, like, a couple videos before this one. But yeah, so like I understood what Spirit was like, kind of understood what Spirit was telling me. Like, I took it in, but like seeing the picture today really sort of solidified it a little bit more. I mean, I'm not saying it's total truth, and it's like totally wild, and it might seem confusing, but it's like just like moving forward with that idea. So, oh, someone's calling me. All right, well, thanks for watching.